I don't know about you guys. I am still fuming over the Broncos' loss yesterday to the Indianapolis Colts at the very end of the game, 29-28. Welcome in Broncos country to the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. On today's episode, we're going to overreact to this Denver Broncos loss. And yes, I do mean overreact because I've got some things to say to some players that honestly might serve as a much-needed wake-up call. But before I do that, what's your anger level today? Scale it 1 to 10 for me. 10 being like, I'm the angriest I've been in so long, and 1 being like, it couldn't even bother me, couldn't faze me if I even thought about it. I'm at a 7 right now. I wouldn't say that I'm so angry that I'm seeing red. I did say that I was fuming when I came in, but mostly that is because this Denver Broncos defense, which we have lauded and praised as the best in the NFL, absolutely, and pardon my French, shit the bed. So yes, I'm at a 7. It's not supposed to look like that at all. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that you can look at and say, okay, the Broncos did this well, they did this well, they did this well. Offensively speaking, I thought it was a much improved game for Mile High. But at the end of the day, it did not get the W done. And that is the main problem. So yes, I am sitting right now at a 7. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the defensive players. We're going to talk about the Colts for a little bit. And we're going to talk about what the Broncos need to do coming up in their Week 3 matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers. Let's start with the Colts. 473 yards, 306 passing yards, 167 on the ground, and only one sack given up. It's just not good enough. You didn't get nearly enough pressure. And the Colts methodically picked apart the Denver Broncos defense and play action all game long. The run game was stout. Daniel Jones's play fakes were stout. The offensive line protected him. It just wasn't a good performance whatsoever from the Broncos. Defensively, after Zach Allen went down on his back in the first quarter, and then Pat Surtain went out with his ankle injury, it didn't look nearly the same. The first couple of drives, believe it or not, there was a nice little bend but don't break mentality, especially down in the red zone, forcing some field goals. But the more and more the game went on, the more this guy right here, Jonathan Taylor, absolutely picked you apart. Every other play, just churning his legs forward, driving his lower shoulder forward, and getting extra yards. And he did it in the passing game as well. He had over 200 yards from scrimmage against the Broncos yesterday. 25 carries, 165 yards, 2 receptions, and 50 yards receiving. Unacceptable. And I get it. He's good. He's really, really good. But here's another fact you probably didn't know. He was the only Colts running back to touch the ball. Not a single other Colts running back took a carry. You had to stop one guy, and you couldn't do it. And that's the defensive line. Ultimately, this is on Vance Joseph. You've got to call a better game. But it wasn't just Jonathan Taylor that decimated you. I got to give credit where credit is due. Daniel Jones looked like Andrew Luck. 316 passing yards, 2 total touchdowns. Every single time he dropped back, it was gain of 8, gain of 10, gain of 14. And if not for a couple of nice plays here and there from the Broncos and a couple of miscues from his route runners, Daniel Jones would have absolutely thrown for 370 yards in this game. And some food for thought, just as like ethereal thought here. The New York Giants right now look like the problem, not Daniel Jones. Because after 2 weeks under Shane Steichen, this dude looks like an actual quarterback. Somebody that you can build around. And if you're a Colts fan watching this, tip of the cap, you might have your next franchise quarterback. Specifically speaking, though, how has he gotten better? Because you can't just say, well, he got better, right? Like the stats prove it. No. The eye test, his pocket mobility, check. Looks great moving up, left, right, back. His short field accuracy is incredible, especially on crossing routes. It's so good. His third down accuracy, there were multiple times it was 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. He'd throw an out route into the flat, first down, gain of 8, and just methodically moving the chains. And, of course, the number one thing that he did better than I've ever seen him do, his play action ability. To sell the fake on the run, drop back, hit his back foot, find an open receiver in soft zone coverage for huge chunk yardages was superb. Might be the best in the NFL at this point right now. So it leads me to this question. Are the Colts a legitimate threat in the AFC? I think it's tough to say yes right now, considering it's only week 2. But I'll say this. I was way off on my prognostication on them. I had them as being one of the worst teams in the NFL, and I was way, way off. Now, coming up, we're going to talk about who's to actually blame on the Broncos side of the football. We took care of what the Indianapolis Colts are. Now let's talk about the Broncos and how they need to get better, because it was some ugly, ugly play. Now, before I do that, let's talk about our friends over at Ethos. My friends, as somebody who is going to start having kids, life insurance is absolutely at the top of my priority list. And that is where our friends at Ethos comes in. Look, they are revolutionizing the insurance industry right now with a 100% online process that can get you covered in as little as 10 minutes with rates at less than $23 a month. They've got no medical exams. All you have to do is answer a few easy health questions online. They are, by the way, 100% online and hassle-free, making that process easy to apply and getting same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. And like I said, if you're like me and about to start having a family, you cannot jeopardize your life insurance. Go to ethos.com, right? Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL daily. That's ETHOS.com/NFL daily. I'm going to have all of that in the comments and description of today's video for you. Shout out to Ethos for sponsoring today's episode. John Franklin Myers. Give me a second, because I'm about to tee off. Beginning of training camp, he makes it publicly known to not only Broncos media members, but on his own social media, he's looking for a new contract. He deserves $20 million a year, is what we all heard. Broncos fans telling me in the comment section, John Franklin Myers is an absolute dog. You got to pay him whatever you need to pay him. Well, mind you, he had no tackles against the Colts. We originally thought it was 1. ESPN went back, actually, believe it or not, and readjusted that. He had 0 tackles. And he wants $20 million a year. And he's got 1 tackle on the year so far. 1. No shot. He's throwing hands with the Colts defensive linemen. He's pouting on the sidelines, giving up on plays. Does that sound like someone you want to give a $20 million a year contract extension to? No chance. Not in my book. And if you want to push that across, producer Xavier, there you go. I'm not giving it to him. I'm not giving it to him. I'm sorry. Like, you've got to be better. You have to be better. No pressures. No tackles. Were you just an extra body on the field? What did you offer the Broncos defensive line? Couldn't stop the run. Nobody could. So please tell me why you're so deserving of this $20 million a year contract. Through 2 weeks, he's been awful. And I have no idea why Sean Payton and Vance Joseph won't activate the 2 rookies. Maybe Q Robinson because he's been dealing with some injury issues. That's fine. And if you're not 100% and they're just saying, hey, we just kind of want to progress you along and gradually indoctrinate you into the defense, fine. I'm okay with that. But there should be no reason Savion Jones isn't playing at all, at least as a rotational player. I don't even mean that he needs to play 35 or 40 snaps, but 15 snaps. Tell me the reason why he's not playing, please. Because right now I'm looking at these 2 guys and I'm saying, based off of what I saw against this Colts offense, you need all the help that you can get. I mean, 1 game, maybe an outlier. Sure, fine. But you're going up against an even better quarterback next week against Justin Herbert. And you know what that bleeds into my next point? The corners. I mean, no fly zone looked more like a runway track. Planes just coming in and out all game long. Now, let's start, of course, with the reigning defensive player of the year, Pat Surtain. And you could look at this and go, 11 tackles and a PBU. Look, when Pat Surtain went down yesterday with his ankle injury, he clearly did not look the same. Right? We can all agree on that. I'm not worried about Pat Surtain. He clearly was down with a little bit of pain. came back into the game, fought through it, and it was obvious and clear that his ankle was bothering him. He didn't look nearly as fast. He looked timid when he came into coverage because he was almost like favoring the other side. I'm not worried about Pat Surtain. When he gets healthy, he's going to be back to the same old lockdown corner that he was week 1 against the Tennessee Titans. It's the other guy that I want to talk about, Riley Moss, who started the game very well. And now we have 8 quarters of football played. Through 6 quarters, Riley Moss has looked excellent. However, the second half of that game yesterday, he looked abysmal. Got cooked in man coverage time and time again. He wasn't sticky in coverage whatsoever. And the deep ball to Alec Pierce just kept burning him. It was like off the line of scrimmage. He could not win the athleticism battle. He got pushed around. He got beat off the line. Wasn't quick enough to recover. You've got to be better. You got to be more physical off the line. You cannot get beat for those 45-yard chunk plays. That's what's going to kill you. That was a problem as well. But I think the biggest takeaway out of all of what I saw yesterday, and I couldn't quite put it to words because I was seeing so much red, is that the front 5, which is touted as the best in the NFL, not by just me, but by NFL media members on ESPN, every single time you turn on a television, that they're the best at getting to the quarterback. You had 1 sack yesterday. No pressure, no results. You give a clean pocket to any quarterback in this league, they're going to tear you apart. Maybe outside of a guy like Caleb Williams and Bryce Young. But Daniel Jones has clearly proven he's no slouch. 1 sack after you nailed Cam Ward 6 times in week 1. Give credit where credit is due to the Colts offensive line. It's clearly good. But this is the best pass rush in the NFL. You got to get more pressure. You got to get more pressure. I'm going to end today's episode by saying this. I know everybody's like clowning Wil Lutz. Missed field goals are going to happen. Nobody's perfect. Incompletions, interceptions, fumbles. Turnovers happen. But in the clutch is when you cannot miss a field goal like that. That late in the game, to go up and put more pressure on the Colts instead of having the momentum swing back in their favor is unacceptable. You're going to miss field goals, but for the love of God, miss the field goals in the first or the second quarter, not during clutch time. Wil Lutz has to be better. You can't clank it off the right upright that far into the game, because as soon as you miss that, you felt the air get sucked out of the Broncos and inflated right back into the Colts. Make your damn field goals, man. You're a veteran. You've been in that situation before. Stop missing. You got to be better. All right. If you want, I'm just move that down. Well, that's fine. Who's to blame? Just let me know. Who's to blame for this week 2 Colts loss? Vance Joseph, the defensive line, the corners, Wil Lutz, you name it. Doesn't matter. Can't blame the offense. They played their hearts out, played their asses off. Bo Nix was outstanding. We'll have a little bit more on his game 2 here later on today as we get closer to our live segment. But I got to ultimately go with Vance Joseph. You're the leader of this defense. You got to call a better game. You got to make sure that you're making the adjustments, and you clearly didn't do it. But here we have to look on to now week 3 against the Chargers. It's a big test, first divisional game. Broncos traveling to L.A. to take on the Chargers, who play tonight, by the way. So you get them on a short week, which is nice. But if they go out and they beat the shit out of the Las Vegas Raiders, look, you might be an underdog coming into week 3. That's all I got to say. We'll deep dive into more about this loss and what we can look forward to more of coming into this next game. But until next time, Broncos country, my name is Moose. Be cool.